set up a Redis local database. So we're going to use Docker to install the server, and also we're going to run the client inside of the Docker to connect to the Redis database, and also we're going to look at this graph user interface Redis Insight client. Okay, so it's very simple. Just copy this command and then run it in your command line. So again, this is to run a Docker container. Name is redis-sep. This could be customized. -p is the port forwarding from localhost 6379 to the containers port 6379. Okay, so it's a daemon thread. It's a daemon container. It's going to run in the background, and the Redis version is 707. All right, so hit enter, and if you don't have the image, it will start downloading it. If you already downloaded, then it won't do it again. So after that, then the Docker container should be started. Okay, so we can see this the redis-sep version, port, and the status is running. Okay, so since we are using so many Dockers, all right, Docker images, and you can check your hard drive just to make sure it has enough space. Okay, because you can see some of the images are pretty large. Okay, so it's just in case if you run out of storage, you can just delete some of the images. Maybe the version is old or you don't need it. Just make sure you delete from the image. Okay, because if you delete from the container, only the container itself will be deleted, but the image will be there. Okay, for like if you don't delete them, they're going to be there forever. And also it has some like storage, but mostly for our training we don't use a lot of storages, so the storage is very small. Okay, anyways, so now we have this Redis server started, and next is we're going to connect to it. Okay, so it's very simple. If you don't want to do anything, just want to use command line, just to run this Docker command, docker exec it redis-sep and the redis-cli. So basically we want to execute this command redis-cli inside the container. Okay, that's what this command is doing. And after hit enter, then we'll see this prompt, and then we can just get some commands there, right? So like keys, like a set, like get. Let's see if we want to set a user I, okay, and 1, okay, and then let's see my name. Hit enter. Okay, so basically this is to set a key and a value pair inside the Redis cache, right? Redis database. So we can actually get this user, okay, value by using the key. Okay, so this is the whole idea of using Redis. So you can save a key value pairs inside a database, which is very, very fast, and it could be shared by multiple servers. So it's external data cache. Okay, mostly we use it as a cache, even though it's a database, but it's a in-memory database. It's very, very fast, and also we can now list all the keys. This is not a good command, but we just use this to don't do this in the production environment, okay? Because this is gonna read all the keys from the server, but usually you can have like maybe thousands, millions of keys that will make your server suffer a lot. Okay, so don't list all the keys there. Instead use scan command. Okay, so for the learning side, okay, so go to the website Redis, and you can just read through the basic types, data types of Redis, like you know what Redis can do. We have a string type. So key is always a string. Okay, so whatever you design a key as a JSON format, is still a string. And if you use this kind of like a namespace pattern, you use a column to differentiate different namespaces. That is also a string. The key is always a string, and the value could be a string, could be a list. Right, so inside the string you can have inside the value you can have a list, okay, and also you can have a set which don't allow duplicates, and you also can have a hash. Okay, so this you can think of as a hash map. You can think of like the whole cache is like a hash map, but the value itself is also a hash map. Okay, so this is the hash. sorted set. So this is a sorted, you can just think of it as a tree set in Java. Okay, so it's just to sort your set so that it can have a rank, it can have an order, right? So that you can have like a ranking of your like customers or playlist or product or whatever, you know, game ranking, game board or scoreboard, things like that. And also we have other types and other usages, like you can use it as a messaging queue, but we are not going to talk in detail about Redis. So if you want to use a more advanced topics, then you can just go here and refer to this documentations. All right, so this is the command line. Okay, so you can just find all the commands from the CLI. Okay, so there we're going to tell you how to use the command line to navigate and to manipulate and manage the database. And also the data types, it also give you a lot of command. Okay, so that's like left push, okay, right pop, this kind of command. You can also learn from there. If you're like, you know, more used to this graphic interface, just go ahead, download Redis Insight. Okay, so this is official client from Redis. Okay, just Google Redis Insight, and or you can just go to this website. Okay, so then download the software, and then here we go. And then you can just add a database and put your host name. So for us, we have a local host, and then for the port, we have a default port, right? So like 6379. And we can just give it a name. This name doesn't matter. Okay, just give a name and username password. For us, the local host, we don't have a username, but my remote, it will have a username password. Okay, so we can just add it and then click on it, and then it's gonna just connect to it. Okay, and you can see immediately it will list this key here, right? So this is the key, and this value are just added, okay, to the database. So also we can just do it from here. Okay, you can just add a let's see, add a string. Okay, time to live. This is let's say set it as 10 seconds, and then we can give a name, user2, for instance. Okay, so let's just call it James, and then add. Okay, so then we can refresh. Okay, and you can see now we have 2 users, but this user is gonna expire. You can see 3, 2, 1. Okay, after it expired, and then it's gone. Right, so it's just because it's a cache, right? So it's used as a cache. Then the cache should have expiration time. But by default, we don't have any the time to live, okay, TTL. By default, we don't have, so this will be there forever. But also we can manually delete it. So it's to manually delete this key, and then nothing will be there. Okay, a very simple usage. It's Redis is the structure level is much simpler than MongoDB or MySQL database, because you don't need to design any like schema. But also at the same time, it has a lot of other operations. Okay, instead of joins, group by, you need to design the key. What's the key structure look like, right? What should be the identifier of your value, so that it can be used to improve the performance of your system, of your application. Because we use it as a cache, that means it has a very short lifespan, but also at the same time, it should be very accurate. Right? You cannot just cache something like a stock price for like 2 hours without updating. Right? Then the user will get some like a dirty data or not accurate data. All right, so that's it for the setup, and we're gonna talk about connect to Redis using Spring Boot next. Okay, thanks.